Dear students, in this video, we are going to discuss some of the most important current affairs that have occurred in recent days. So let us begin. So recently, Rajasthan government has come up with a new initiative which is known as Mukhyamantri Chiranjeevi Yojana. So first things first that you have to remember, which state government scheme are we talking about? Rajasthan state government scheme, Mukhyamantri, that means Chief Minister Chiranjeevi Yojana. So what is this Yojana or scheme about? So this is basically a universal health scheme. So what is meaning of universal health scheme? So universal health scheme means that it is meant for each and every citizen of Rajasthan. So there are no criterias, there are no age criterias that only 45 plus will be able to avail this, or those who are less than 18 years will not be able to avail the Mukhyamantri Chiranjeevi Yojana. Nothing like that. This is universal, meant for all. Fine. So this is an initiative of Rajasthan state government. Who is the current chief minister of Rajasthan? Mr. Ashok Gehlot. So what is this scheme? So this scheme provides cashless health services to all the families in Rajasthan. Now what is meaning of cashless health service? So if you have taken a cashless health service from any let's say life insurance company, so and then if you visit a hospital, so whatever bill the hospital will charge you, you don't have to pay a single penny. So you don't have to pay cash. That's why it is cashless. The hospital's bill will be settled between the hospital and the insurance providing company. So in this case, there is no insurance providing company. It is the government of Rajasthan who is giving you the insurance. So you don't have to pay cash from your pocket. So this is the annual cashless health cover up to rupees 5 lakh for per family. This is per family, not per individual. Fine. So now let's move. Next news is from Switzerland. So recently, the you can say Parliament of Switzerland passed a resolution to ban full face covering in public places. So full face covering, that means your face should not be hidden when you are moving in public places. So this has been termed as burqa ban because as per the tradition and practices of the religion of Islam, their women generally cover their faces. So though there was no mention of the word burqa, it was termed as burqa ban because full facial covering includes burqa as well. So it was termed burqa ban. So this new law was passed by a very narrow margin. So almost 51.3% votes were given in favor and remaining were against it. So you can see very narrow margin. Now you have to remember a few more facts related to this, that Switzerland has done this in 2021, but almost 10 years ago, that is in 2011, France became the first country to ban full face covering. So it's not appropriate to call it burqa ban. So burqa ban is the name given by media and other protesting organizations, but technically it was called full face covering in public places. So let's move to the next piece of information. So recently, eSanjeevani crossed a milestone. Now, what is eSanjeevani? So, eSanjeevani is a telemedicine service offered by Union Health Ministry. So, what is eSanjeevani? It is a telemedicine service. What is telemedicine service? That means just by sitting from your home, you can take medical consultation over phone. So this is basically a browser based application. So it's you can take telephonic consultation. Suppose a patient of Uttar Pradesh wants to take consultation from a doctor of Tamil Nadu. So he can do that using eSanjeevani app. Fine. Not only a patient and doctor, even two doctors can connect over this app. For example, one doctor, maybe one patient is being treated by more than one doctor. So these doctors would like to consult among themselves. So that is how eSanjeevani comes to the help of not only patients but also doctors. Whose initiative this is? Ministry of Health and Family Welfare's initiative. So it was rolled out by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in November 2019. Now, why are we discussing this today? We are discussing this today because recently eSanjeevani was in news because it crossed a milestone. So milestone is kind of achievement. So what is that milestone? The milestone is that it recently crossed 3 million consultations. 3 million means 30 lakh people have already used this service to take consultation or give consultations. Next news is that, so next news is related to economy. So on tap TLTRO scheme was extended till 30th September 2021. Now what is this on tap TLTRO? So first thing that you have to remember the full form of TLTRO, targeted long term repo operations. Now what is repo operations? So you see the normal banks, or you can say the banks of India, they sometime borrow money from RBI so that they can run their day-to-day operations, and they can further lend that money to their retail customers. So nobody borrows loan from RBI except these banks. So these banks borrow money at a certain fixed rate. So that rate was known as repo rate. So now, up till now, the money was borrowed for short term, maybe for 6 months, maybe for an year. But RBI has come up with a scheme which says targeted long term repo rate. That means now these banks can borrow money from RBI for 3 year time period. 3 year time period at a certain repo rate. Now, what is repo rate? So, this is RBI, this is some bank. So RBI has given money, so RBI gave money to this bank, so this bank will pay interest to RBI. So the rate of this interest is known as repo rate. So now RBI is saying that okay, you can keep this money for long term, you can keep it for 3 years. So the current repo rate is 4%. Now, what is the purpose behind bringing this scheme? The purpose behind bringing this scheme is that RBI wants to inject liquidity in the market. Liquidity means money, circulation of money. So if RBI has given money to the banks will pass on the money to their customers in form of loan. So money will begin circulating in market. Now, what is the magnitude of this fund? So RBI has set aside rupees 1 trillion. So 1 trillion will be given out as loan to the banks by RBI. So earlier this scheme was about to end in March of 2021, but this scheme has been extended up till 30th September 2021. So that's why this is in news. So there is another fact that you need to remember, that who is our RBI governor. So the current RBI governor is Mr. Sasikant Das. So let's move forward. So recently, United Nations General Assembly, which is in short known as UNGA, has declared year 2023 as International Year of Millets. Now, what is United Nations General Assembly? So you know that the United Nation is the most powerful, the most significant international organization of our times. So currently it has 193 members. So all these member countries of United Nations, they sit and discuss. So there is a parliament for that. So that parliament is what is known as United Nations General Assembly. So how many members does United Nations has as of today? 193 members. So it was in this assembly that India sponsored a resolution. India brought a resolution for all the countries to discuss. So India brought a resolution that year 2023 be declared as International Year of Millets. So this resolution was supported by more than 70 countries, and this resolution was passed, and the United Nations General Assembly declared year 2023 as International Year of Millets. What is the purpose behind declaring any year as Year of Millets? The aim is to raise awareness of the health benefits of millets, also to put pressure on different governments that you should do something to facilitate that millet reaches the plate of common people, because millet have got health and nutritional benefit. So the idea is to make millet affordable to for the people who are poor. Now we have also to remember that current year, that means year 2021, has been declared as the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development. So this was declared in 2019 itself. Fine. So year 2021, International Year of Creative Economy and Sustainable Development, year 2023, Year of Millets. Who declares all this? United Nations General Assembly. It's like the parliament. How many members does United Nations has as of today? 193 members. The next news is from Arunachal Pradesh. So in Arunachal Pradesh, first formal indigenous language and knowledge school was inaugurated. So the name of this school is Nubu Nyavam Yerko. Now what is the meaning of indigenous language and knowledge school? So if schools have a bounded syllabus, fixed syllabus, so in that syllabus most of the time local language is not taught, local traditions are not taught. So Arunachal Pradesh has got its own custom tradition. Many languages are there which are spoken only and only in Arunachal Pradesh. So now the government of Arunachal Pradesh has come up with a, you can say, unique idea to preserve the local identity, to preserve the local language from going extinct. So that's why they have opened this first of its kind of school. So this school was inaugurated by the Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh. So who is the Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh? Mr. Pema Khandu. Pema Khandu. Where was this school inaugurated? It was inaugurated in Kameng district. So you already understood what is the purpose of this school: to preserve indigenous language and to promote local language, local traditions. Student, before I move any further, I would like to request to you that in case if you are preparing for any of these competitive exams, any prestigious competitive exams, so you can start preparing with us, because we are the best in the business. You can visit our website once. So for whichever exam you are preparing, we have different type of courses. We have pen drive courses, we have online courses, we have test series, and currently there are many different types of discounts that we are offering to our students. So in case if you are preparing and if you are really serious about your preparation, Vidya Guru is your best friend, is your best, you can say, platform to prepare with. So please visit our portal once, and for whichever exam you are preparing, you can get more info there. So you will get to know that how many hours of video lectures would you be getting, how many test series would that package include. In case you feel like you need to talk to us, so these are our telephone numbers, so you can call on these numbers and talk to our representatives. In case you feel like writing mails to us, so you can write mail to us on this email id. So please visit this portal once and leave all your preparation worries on Vidya Guru. So we are an expert, so you can have a look at our reviews, what our past students have to say about us. Only then you can take a decision. So the next news is again from economy. So secured overnight financing rate, in short SOFR, is to replace London Interbank Offered Rate, also known as LIBOR. Now before we move to understand what this news is about, let us first understand what is SOFR and LIBOR. So when two banks do business with each other, or two heavy organizations, big corporations do monetary business with each other, so if the transaction is international in nature, so there has to be some international benchmark, that what rate should I be paying interest with. So that international, you can say, interest rate was determined by something known as LIBOR. So LIBOR, also known as London Interbank Offered Rate, so this was the, you can say, benchmark in what terms. So if a bank has to give money to other banks, so it will charge interest. So it will say that, okay, the LIBOR rate is so and so, so I will charge you money, so I will charge this much interest from you. So this LIBOR rate used to act as the benchmark, used to act as the parameter to determine the rate. For example, RBI lends money to banks and charges interest known as repo rate. So this repo rate was also determined based on LIBOR. What was LIBOR? LIBOR was the prevailing interest rate in the markets of London. So London Interbank Offered Rate. But now why is this in news? Because LIBOR is about to end. LIBOR will cease to exist from 31st December 2021. There will be no more LIBOR. So now what will banks do? They need another benchmark. So that another benchmark or replacement benchmark is SOFR, known as Secured Overnight Financing Rate. Now from which market is SOFR coming? So this is linked to US Treasury market. US Treasury market. Fine. So you got what is SOFR and LIBOR. They were basically benchmarks to determine the rate of interest. So this LIBOR rate and SOFR rate is followed by all the banks of the world and all the other financial institutions. So now this has had its effect in India as well. So India has already started shifting from LIBOR to SOFR. So let us see. So recently, State Bank of India became the first Indian bank to do a transaction based on SOFR. So SBI has recently concluded two interbank deals, and in those deals, the SBI has used SOFR and not the LIBOR, because LIBOR will end by 2021. So the banks are now shifting. So this becomes very important for us to know that what was the first transaction that any Indian bank did based on SOFR. So this transaction was done between SBI. So SBI lended money to IOCL. What is IOCL? Indian Oil Corporation Limited. IOCL borrowed $100 million from SBI Bank for 5 years. And what would be the rate of interest was not decided based on LIBOR rate. No, it is gone now. Now the shift has been to SOFR. So this is what is LIBOR and SOFR all about. Now let's move to next one. Recently, UNCTAD has released its B2C e-commerce index for the year 2020, and India has been ranked 71 on this list. Now what is UNCTAD? So full form, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. So this is basically an organization which keeps an eye on global trade and commerce. So this UNCTAD has released a B2C e-commerce index. Now what is B2C? B2C means business to customers. That means when big businesses are selling directly to customers. So for example, e-commerce companies like Amazon and Flipkart. So you are a customer, you buy directly from the company. So that is B2C. So this is an index to measure that how prepared a country's economy is to support e-commerce. E-commerce, roughly speaking, online shopping. So India ranks 71 means that India has to do much work to, you know, come at par with other global players. So India's rank is 71. Who is at the top of this list? Switzerland has been ranked 1. So you have to remember a few facts for static GK as well. Where are the headquarters of UNCTAD situated? So it is situated in Geneva, which is in Switzerland. So UNCTAD is a, you can say, affiliate body of United Nations General Assemblies. Next news, All India Open Badminton Championships final was recently played at Birmingham, England. So you have to remember that who are the winners of these finals. So men's singles was won by Lee Zizia of Malaysia. So he is from Malaysia. And women's singles was won by Nozomi Akuara. So she is from Japan. So you have to remember the name of both these winners. Men's singles, Lee Zijia of Malaysia. Women's singles, Nozomi Akuhara of Japan. Next news. Recently, Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways conducted Maritime India Summit 2021. Fine. So who is the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways? So he is Mr. Mansukh Mandavia. He is a minister having independent charge. Now, what was this Maritime India Summit all about? So maritime, it's very clear from the name that business over ocean. So the partner country in this summit, it was organized by Government of India, but there was a partner country. So the partner country was Denmark. Fine. There were other partners as well. So the other partner was FICCI. FICCI as in Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, because these moves are to benefit trade and commerce. So that's why FICCI also partnered. Now, what was the objective behind conducting this summit? The objective was to promote investment, because India is building so many ports, and maritime sector is expecting investments to be made. So investment both local, I mean domestic and international. So to promote, to give a message out to message out that India is ready for investment. India is a lucrative prospect if you invest in Indian ports and maritime sector. Now, there was another reason for which Ministry of State for Ports, Shipping and Water was in news. Who is the minister? Mr. Mansukh Mandavia. So recently, Mr. Mansukh Mandavia launched the first of its kind cruise service between Surat and Diu. So Diu is a union territory. Surat is in Gujarat. So because the government of India has declared that, Ministry of State for Ports, Shipping and Water, we have declared that cruise tourism is on top of their priority. So that's why they are rolling out one cruise after the other. So recently, one such cruise service was launched between Surat and Diu. Who inaugurated that? Mr. Mansukh Mandavia. So November last year, that means in November 2020, at the same place, Prime Minister Modi had inaugurated the Hajira Ghoga Ropax. Now, what is Hajira? So, Hajira is the port of Surat. The name of the port of Surat is Hajira Port. So, recently, a few months back, that means in November of 2020, Prime Minister Modi had inaugurated Hajira Ghoga Ropax service. Ropax, Ro means roll on. That means if you have a truck, if your truck is loaded with good, so truck used to go over land, but now the same truck can be rolled on over the ship, not exactly over the cruise, over the ship that is rolled on, and this ship will take your truck to your destination. So that is what is Ropax service. So anyways, let's move to this one. So recently, Google has honored India's satellite man. So who is known as India's satellite man? Udupi Ramchandra Rao. So who was this person? So you can see this doodle. So in this doodle, you will see that this person, Udupi Ramchandra Rao, is holding a satellite in his hand. So he was known as India Satellite Man. What is the significance of this satellite? Because he is the person who supervised launch of India's first satellite. What was the name of India's first satellite? Aryabhat. So Aryabhat was the name of India's first satellite, which was launched in. So it was launched in the year 1975. So Udupi Ramchandra Rao was given many accolades by Government of India. So he was awarded Padma Bhushan by Government of India in the year 1976, and in the year 2017 he was also awarded Padma Vibhushan. So he breathed his last, or you can say he left for his heavenly award in the year 2017 itself. So Mr. Udupi Ramchandra Rao related to the first satellite launch made by India, that was Aryabhat launch made in 1975. Dear students, these were some of the important current affairs fact that are very critical for you to remember. So before we end this video, I would like to request you that if you have liked this video, so do hit the like button, and I would also request you to hit the subscribe button, so that in future whenever we upload videos of these kinds, so it never misses you, so you will always keep on receiving the notification. So before we end, I would again like to request you to please give us a visit at least once. So here you can search for Vidya Guru, so you will immediately get to know what our portal is about, how different our portal is from others. So you can get all the info related to any exam that you are preparing for. So you can also avail some demo lectures, some demo videos are already there. So please do give us a visit, so that will be one of the best decisions of your career. So with that request, I end this video. So we will keep on bringing more such videos in future. So all I request from you is that if you have liked this video, please hit the like button.